Alrighty. I think we're live and we're good. Happy May 24th as well, Skunk. Today, hopefully, I'll get a test build of this then. Let's see. I want to get 2 inspectors. Let me just go in real quick and get organized here. Let's do. I haven't touched the space edit project yet. I don't really know. I think the space edit should become some board, but I don't know if I have a limit on my spaces. Get a box. Or a grid. Yeah, I think I can create my own. Editor. A compass? A drafting compass? What makes sense for something that edits? An object on group looks pretty cool. Space edit. No, you started morning rev. Hey, Rectangle. Yeah, this will be the first time I do like a live stream in the morning. Until supper time or till food or whatever I decide. We need space edits icon. Probably take a break sometime in the middle. You'd think just having these by date modified would be a lot easier to browse. Really, I can't like bring it, I can't scale it a little bit more. So the choices are having it cut off. That's annoying. Maybe we won't take this into its own sprint yet. Yeah, we'll just leave one board. One board's fine for now. We can migrate it later. So, to-do list. Add a door space object. We could do that. Might as well. That's actually not a bad idea. So we need we're gonna do some add floors. Add categories. Add tags. And someone want to check the YouTube chat just to make sure that works. We're just gonna make these here in Blender real quick. We're gonna add these to the project, just literally directly. There's a few little things I want to add. So with the rules of space edit is the bottom corner must be in the middle of a grid block. So the origin is going to be one of these. Everything is related to one of these in the middle, just for now. So we'll do like a 1x1, a 2x2, and a 4x4, maybe an 8x8 actually. Those are all the different floor types as far as physical variations go. So from the front, I guess it doesn't really matter because we're going to be moving the mesh. Yeah, no, we want it to run one. We'll make it easier. Assets, models. Yeah, so space objects. Yeah, we'll just put them in here. Let's do building blocks, floors. Keep all the materials and everything. It's 8 a.m. here, but this is early for me. Hey, are you using Unreal now? What happened to Godot? I'm not using Unreal at all. Still using Godot. Or 1x1x array box. And then we're going to extend back. And this will be floor 2x2 array box. Nope, still using Godot. At first, nice. I thought you were using Unreal. The Blender looks strange. Oh, dude, it gets worse. It gets worse, Elite. It gets much worse because Space Edit itself, the editing tool that I'm actually using, I've built my own entire inspector system for it. So this is what we're working on today. And it uses a lot of Unreal's kind of like appearances and like vectors, and you know, like I have these little kind of blade decorators. It's Victoria Day weekend here in Canada. We're off for like 4 days, which is lovely. Yeah. Right. So this is the editor that we're going to be working on over the next couple days. Trying to get it production ready. What we're working on. Like this weekend is asset streaming, so being able to log in and pull down all the assets that's on the server. So that's like the goal, right? So for Space Edit. So if I switch this to, let me just switch it over to Dev, so you can see. I'll put one here. I'll put one here. We'll go and create a session. And I'll connect. So here I am in Space Edit. It's a multiplayer editor with a scripting language that I wrote. And if I go and load and edit a level editor, yeah, there we go. This is the one that I was working on yesterday. I don't know why is the lights broke. Oh, the lights are white. Wait, why are they white now? I don't remember changing the lights to white. But as you can see, completely multiplayer, you know, editing system. So to accelerate Unforgiven Space's development, especially into this year, because we're already like, you know, 5 or 6 months into it now. You know, the way of kind of moving forward, I've kind of taken a break from the project for 2 weeks to build up the foundations of Space Edit. And to start building some custom inspectors and stuff. And I want to get this tool into the Patreon members' hands where they can just log in, pull down and stream in all the assets that we currently have in the test build, and play around with placement. All this stuff can be serialized and saved out. And then they can, you know, we can do some gray boxing Let me know later if you're done. I have nothing to do, and the VPN works. Excellent. I need to isolate the Docker environments. Is this a multiplayer game? Is the editor for making ships? This is the editor for building all of the assets in Unforgiven space collaboratively. So we'll call it a studio tool. Right, this enables, you know, very quick iterative adjustments, right? Right, move this wall, move this around, building station modules, building, you know what I mean? Like just being able to move stuff, place stuff, right? And I have this concept of it's kind of like a prefab system. It's very similar to Unity's, but it works in multiplayer. Where you can create zones, and everything inside the zone that you place becomes a prefab. So it itself then becomes a game object that can be placed. So this is all working, right? And yeah, it's coming along. It's stable. I don't know what happened to my light, but anyway, it's probably because I was working on this light inspector. Alright, so anyway, it's 2 weeks of space edit, so 1 more week of space edit. It's cool until you get that jerk in the editor that does think you know. Wait, until you get that jerk in the editor that does think you know what you're doing and decides to rip your half your bill apart. Oh, that's fine. Everything's saved. I can do revision control on the JSON configurations of all of the builds. And in my case, only the host is actually enabled to is saving and loading these serialized levels. Right, so the helpers can only really help. You know what I mean? And you'll have unlimited undo. So. Even on the even in the scripting system that I'm working on, I have like for every command that it creates, right? If it creates something, it creates the opposing, you know, deconstruct, you know, queue frame. For everything that it can be created, it can be it'll be queue free. If there's a rotation command, in the undo buffer is the on rotation command, right? So you can go forward or go back in time. So we'll see what happens with it. Because all of this work for now is for an artist that I want to hire to build assets. So for them to be able to build the assets, they need to be able to you know, access, you know, like the builds and kind of be able to kind of play around with everything. And so I figured it would be a good time to just make something, you know, that we could try out and see how viable it is. And at least Antics that confirms that my YouTube chat's working. But anyway, this is Space Edit. And I'm already seeing some issues with it, but not a ton. Like, you know, there's no like floors would have to be added to the walls and things like that. And there's a few little things, you know, that I can see now that I'm kind of playing with it. Cool. One, 2, 4, 8. That's about right for ceilings. Let me do 4x4 for ceilings. Ceiling for about 4. So if I'm working on something in Space Edit, can I make it so only I can work on stuff by myself? And if I decide to have someone join me and allow to open it and have read-only access to it, if I check a box, then they can edit as well. And I can like keep it so they cannot save it or copy it on their own unless I give them permission to do that. Pretty much, like pretty much if you're not when you go to save, if you're not the server, it doesn't do anything. So you just can't save if you're not the host right now. But once you open it up to them, they can edit all of your own stuff. Like the stuff you've previously saved, they'll be able to edit. But like any file-based system, just save a copy before you open it up to the LAN, you know what I mean? It's like opening up a Minecraft world, just, you know. Because you can just have a bunch of different copies of one of these maps, and it works fine. We have a rise over run of 2 to 1. What's the average? What's the average step height for a video game stairs where everything is rounded to so 0.25 is actually not a bad step height. Yeah, it's a cool system, man. Just can see some jerk coming along and either stealing what someone else has made, or like jacking up something that's taking hours to build. Well, the hope would be that you're, you know, like, but for the most part, only you know, devs at the studio will probably be using this for a good while until it's you know, ready. I'll tell you. Wait. Am I wrong? Let's do this. Yeah, what is this? 0.125. Oh. Chew. For now, think of it in speed at which level designers can build if they work together, and they don't need the actual code base, right? They can just stream the stuff in and work away. these can just be deleted, and then this can be deleted. How did you do that? How did I do what? Yeah, issues like this origin. Oh, I just used math in my head for the rise over run, because the idea is an origin of a block is the middle of the bottom grid, because it's a voxel system. Anything we make needs to have an origin point, and that origin point is like the middle of 1-1, so the origin point of the bottom floor is going to be here. But we have a rise over run, you know, of 1 to 2. So if we want to go, you know, like cube of 1 to 1 to 1 as an example. So we want to, like, we need to go from, right, so we need to go from a block that's technically in the editor right, because this would always, this will, right, align perfectly. Like this block itself takes up the volume. The stairs itself takes up the volume of a 2x2 by 1. So this can be used to create unlimited, right? You would just use the same stairs for everything in gray box land anyway. Obviously, artists can swap this out with different versions, and they can have a version that's like 4x4 or 1x1, but right, and you know, it's just yeah, right, like on the next grid area. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like this will all work. Right, so it'll always align to the floor. So just your brain thinking in cubes, man. So what I did was you know, when you're doing stairs and you want to figure out your ultimate, you know, rise over run, you know, adjust them first. So figure out like, you know, I want to do, you know, like for every 3, you know, we go up 1. Right. So, but we know we want our stair height to be 0.25. So that's no matter how high this thing is for rise over run. We know we need to divide it by 4, like 3 subdivisions, to make sure that the stair height. But now, like, we have a very unrealistic, you know what I mean, like depth. It's too deep. In this case, for this to be like 0.25. So it's just, you know, use arrays. Oh yeah. Like if you're gonna actually, you know what I mean, like make the real stairs, but we're just making gray box, so none of this really. There's nothing too complicated here. I will save out a 1x1 here, but we'll do a 2x2 by default because I think it's probably going to be the most like generalist. So stairs 2x1. Gray box. As I haven't done gray box, like a lot of this stuff is not really gray box, or has been. And we're not going to worry about geometry or anything like that. Like we're not going to worry about collision shapes or anything crazy right now. We're just going to kind of focus on the building, like just getting everything snapping and working, and you know. I wish the recent export locations would update in Blender. I just make one on Firestone and then build the upper floor down and adjust the first stairs so that it's not difficult, but it works. Gotcha. I need to bookmark that asset folder. It's really annoying. Like all the stuff where I open, like saving the blend files from, like those are fine. But hey Bruce, how's it going? Bruce Malt. What were you working on your stream? Solved the bug, did some pathfinding, nice. What was the bug? Yeah, space edit, assets, models. Let's bookmark this. Oh, did I just drag floors? Building blocks, yeah, let's bookmark building blocks. Not make a new thing. Assets, models, building blocks, plus. Okay, there. So building blocks, stairs. No animation data. I just woke up and I saw that you're still trying to get the coffee to work. And then, and see that my brain is going. Let's see if my brain was going to join me when typing. Obviously, it's not. You're doing procedural generation, and I have some deterministic stuff and IDs to help me find bugs. And I was generating the same ID for different chunks, and because I wasn't updating the seed for generation step. Ah, cool. Are you using Godot as well? What? Oh, go away. So. I'm using Panda 3D, which is a C++ based engine that allows Python. I'm using Python. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. For those that are just tuning in with Bruce, we're working on a multiplayer space editor. So this is, I'll give it a little demo here. Alright, so this is Space Edit. Space Edit is just it's a typical level editor in a normal fashion. But the difference being is I can actually host a session. And we can go and join in. So there's my other little player zooming around. And now if I go and load in the level that I was working on a moment ago, then you know, we can all just collaboratively build. I did not mean to put that one there. Yep. So this is a development tool that I'm working on for my space game. I'm just trying to work on some pipelining stuff. These were purple. These, like, I don't know why these are not purple, but hey, whatever. So, and you know, you can just kind of build, but we don't have a lot of assets. So, you know, I'm building some placeholder assets right now to kind of get things going. Some floors, some ceilings. Got to add a tagging system. I need to get asset streaming, so when we like go online and log in, it will pull down all the assets that are on the server and stream them in, right? So they'll just be like a placeholder icon by default until they get loaded. And when they're loaded in, they'll generate a thumbnail, and then you can, you know, edit away. So that's what we're working on. And the goal is, like, you know, this is not my final game that I'm working on. This is just a tool for Unforgiven Space to accelerate the development of level design, gray box stations. Right, it's a very generic tool, you know, that'll hopefully become a little less generic as I'm, you know, making changes to it and, you know, adjusting things. But it's the humble beginnings of this thing right now. It's only been a couple days in development, so we'll see where we go with it. Because I want to get the zone system also working, but But I have a lot of ideas, but they're just ideas until I get them implemented. We want to do a layering system. A layering system will dynamically switch the collision layers of the grid system, and will enable multiple objects to exist in the same place. Because they're not, you know, exclusively set to be in a voxel volume or anything. We're just snapping to the nearest meter for convenience, right? Because all the prefabs in the game are designed to mostly be within that kind of meter limitation. So everything from like spaceships parts to like when we load up the game. And I'll switch to the 16:9 just to give a better. Right, so all the main buildings and stuff like that in Unforgiven Space are, they all have components, right, that snap to that grid size, right? I'm doing proc gen because I wanted something that gives me like total flexibility, like fill the space for a lot of build. Yeah. I have to use a bit of both, right? Like a little bit of a hybrid, you know, place things using kind of a voxel system. Are you the Revere in Godot Discord? Yeah. Yep. Say I'm very active in the Godot community, right? So all these pieces, right, can be. I want level designers to be able to kind of like swap these out and, you know, create unique and interesting assets, but use, you know, have the ability to kind of change around things, right, and swap them out and swap out the doors. You see, like even the bounds, right? I try to keep everything to the meter to make it very very easy to scale, right? Scalability is very important, right? Like if you want to create different building variations, it shouldn't be too complicated, right? Like by design. So and that extends itself to you know, like ships. All of the ship interiors are very much similar, right? They're all, you know, like 1 meter, you know, kind of pieces, right? Godot is great looking in from the outside. I'm only using Python because of third-party modules, editor, and support. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure there's like Python, there's so many extensions, man, to Godot, you know what I mean, for incorporating other languages. I played around with the Rust extension and a few other things. You know, so it's coming along, you know what I mean? It's I don't see any limitation with Godot. right? Or I don't see a limitation that I can't like get over. Like, you know, if there's something I really need to change about Godot, because like you know, it's limiting the game in some way, then I'll just have to put the work in. You know what I mean, and just do it myself. So you get that flexibility. You know, you can make things. You know, pretty quickly. So what I'm working on now, I got to get rid of this truck stop concept. Like it's cool, but there's you know, it was never designed to be modular, right? Like it's you know, it's very it's very customly designed. It was created to create like a test area for like, you know, navigation agents to be able to walk around without elevators, and like there's a lot of you know, this whole station was put together pretty quickly, you know. So I want to unify all this, right? I want to unify everything and create, you know, more, you know, dynamic pieces. And this is where the editor comes in, right? Because the editor will allow me to take these large chunks that I've already made, or anyone, like for any of the, you know, supporters of the project, and think of how fast I can make iterations, right? By just like the difference between a pizza shop, as an example, just different, you know, logos, different layouts. Like the pizza shop has a bunch of pizza stuff, like, you know, that I just made as a randomized, you know, a bunch of little cool props, right? It's meant to model late 70s, early 80s, you know, like mall locations. But like, so I have a noodle shop gray box here. But like, once I just have these, you know, placeholder, you know, pieces, because even the bars are modular, right? Like there's a corner, and there's like, you know, like all of this can be easily done in the editor. And then, you know, as a part of the process, the editor itself then, for performance purposes, can have a bunch of baking options. The bake meshes, right? Combine materials, you know, the editor can be responsible for like optimizing assets for when they're finally, you know, in the final prefab. But for a lot of it, they can stay chunks, right? Until they're more like, yeah, we want to use this. And they can go through this baking process where, you know, if it's using the similar meshes that already exist in the project, then, you know, like just combine things, use the same materials, use the same, right? So that just enables scalability. Right? That's kind of the key, right? You know, create different versions. Oxy, are you also on the Godot Discord? Right, so anyway, this is the context. There's all these pieces here. If we go into like, right, like I spent a fortune of time. It's right into. Right, so here's the arm for the right. All of these. I don't know why I like when you go to move. There you go. So like all of this stuff. Right, they're all little small modules that are just the same. So like, why do this stuff? You know what I mean? In Godot, right? Like we you know, all of these are literally like, you know, like we can use code. You know what I mean? To generate placements for a lot of this stuff, right? You know, and you know, like there's a lot of interesting things we could do. Combining ProcGen, like combining a scripting language with a level editor and giving it multiplayer support. I think that's the key to, you know, high turnaround iteration. Now, whether I'm right or wrong on that depends on the investment of time I put into the editor versus the return of what the editor does for us. So, you know, that's let's say. So I hope investing time into this is going to be the right choice. You know, of But you know, we'll see. It's and what I do like about it, there is a freebie here, is that when I want to do base building in the game, you know, when I do want to allow players to just make things for themselves, all the code is there. You know, like taking that code and just giving it to the player in a restricted form, like in the universe. You know, they just place down a base block, some type of anchor into the world, enables them to build off of that. Right, super easy. Right, code's already done, already in the game. Right, very, very quick feature. So yeah, it's just, you know, making a, you know, like just making something that's really user friendly and it works, and you know, it's just a constant battle, you know, of trying to do it right, you know, trying to get through it. So, stairs. Yeah, so we'll need to we'll need to get these imported. We're gonna finish the rest of them. So we will do a 1x1 stairs. I don't really know if they're really going to be used or needed, but so X. One wide, deep height. I should really unify my naming convention. Jew. Excuse me. So 1x2x1, and then while we're at it, you know, we might as well do a 4. What else do we need? So we have stairs. We have a ceiling. We have the floors. Oh yeah, the doors. Doors are going to be very interesting. Yeah, so for the doors... doors, they're going to be too wide, and I make them kind of smaller. Like technically, I'd want the doors to be like more than 2 meters high. Like a 3-meter high door is usually standard in game day. But just for this like prototype of everything kind of working, we're gonna kind of make it a little bit shorter than the general 2-meter gap. kept merging. That's weird. There we go. And doors are going to use the wall material. Which means they technically don't need the outside. Door 2x2. Just creating a couple of random variations. So we have ceilings. Oh, I know. Yeah, let's do the opposite of the stairs. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do this. So this will go above the stairwell. I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do today for work. Boredom. Oh no. This is awesome, dude. This is gonna be great antics, the system. And what else? What do you think of the design of my custom inspector? Ignore this, you know. Looks 2008, excellent. It has an 8 works. GIMP to make those? No, Godot. This is not the design, this is the actual, like, inspector. There's no art. Like, that's all, like, custom curves and, like, you know. Yeah, UI fields, views. See? Hey, what are you making? Which OS is that? Yo, we're working on a space editor. Using Godot, and it's for multiplayer level design. And the operating system I'm using is Windows. So we need a selector. And I just need to give it an ID. Viewer generator. Maybe it is a space object. Oh, right. I need to create a resource for it. Stairs 2x, 2x1. Stairs 2x2, x1. And we'll copy that same ID into the resource. Add it to the database. And now, let's go online and see if we can place some stairs. Something messed up. What messed up? The synchronizers are not right. Why? Oh, right. Space up. We gotta add the resource to the synchronizer. So we want to change this auto spawn list into a custom spawn function. So then we don't need to be referencing these each time. I'm just gonna load up the one that we were working on earlier. So this is the one that we were working on earlier. And let's say we come out here, and then we want to go upstairs. So we need to get the floors in. And I need to make it so when I right click it doesn't lock my mouse in that weird position. Yeah, so let's do this didn't auto import when we ran the project, which is a problem. Let me just see why. We should have like auto generated. Okay, so it's not auto-generating the asset cache. And we want to do the floor 4x4. Or the 2x2 floor. What? Yeah, why isn't it dragging out an object? Something I do. Alright, now let's try it with floors. Oh, I didn't save it last time. So what I want to do is kind of use the inside bounds to be able to draw the floors. Oh, we're hitting the... Okay, I see what we're doing. When we're placing, I want to make sure we're not actually colliding with the other ones. Okay, it's working good. Let me save this. And let's just make sure it works. Yeah, that's the only problem, is the selector for the floor itself is getting in the way of the floor. Yeah, we need to make sure that no selectors are actually working while we're I want to redo these walls as well, so like, because we don't really need volume on the walls. There doesn't have to be a backside on them. They were just created like this wall prototyping to give a sense of yeah. So while we are moving around, well, we don't have a space. When we have a space object selected for placement, we want to turn off all collisions. Yeah, because I'm on the right plane here. I can't place. Which makes no sense because there's nothing there. Oh, there's the wall. There's the outside wall. Yeah, I do need a version of the stairs that's for interior use. Let's do the ceiling, the 2x2 ceiling. Or did I not explode it? Ceiling 2x2 base object. Yeah, for the ceiling, I want the ceiling to be like one object below. So it'll take up the space above. and we'll use 0.5. Because the floor should be 0.5 thick. CEILING 2x2. Only problem, I can't see the ceiling. I know it's there, but I can't look up and down. And I think now that I'm binding the grid to the position, we should be able to free look the camera a bit. Being completely indecisive really hurts trying to code and going round and round with my inventory system. Yeah, I get aside on something. I don't really give a shit. Like I know if even there's limitations with this thing right now, with floors, right? Like if every one of these blocks needs to have an origin block, which is like the rotation of it. So that's why it's like a 0.5 offset, which means like I can't put this floor here per se because there's already a block there, kind of blocking it. So I have to kind of rotate it, you know what I mean, and do it this way. So the origin of this thing is now here, right? So now, like, as far as volumes are concerned, like this cell is taken up by the floor. You know, this cell, these two cells are blocks, and there's only one cell free here if you really think about it. But like, I just take the limitations, and I'm like, you know what, limitations are fine because I can place one there. Right, it's kind of working, you know, within them. That kind of makes, you know, that you kind of make decisions to kind of get things done. And I know I'll fix this at a later date by creating layers. So there'll be a floor layer, and when we switch to the floor layer, right, like everything on the floor layer can be positioned in the grid, just like everything on the walls layer can be positioned. Like they'll still be limited, so they can't overlap each other, but only within their own layer. So it works, right? But I don't need to worry about that now. I just need to get it working now. I just need to give it to someone to play with. Be like, hey, you know, like, can we code? Can we make a level? Because I'm hoping that, you know, I can gray box faster with this tool than doing it in Godot and not being able to quickly iterate. When messing with grid mat, I ended up going with layers too. Yeah. Because I just don't trust, you know? And like the other issue with the stairs, right? Because the stairs are 2 meters wide, these stairs in particular are meant to be full with gap fillers. Like they are gap filler stairs. They're 2 meters. But if they're like inside, they need to have walls. So there needs to be a different variation of stairs that takes the 2.5 wall offset into consideration, right? A version that has sides for the interior. So it's little things like that, right? Which, you know. So I now like need to be able to look around. Like before I was like, you know, anchoring the camera to the horizon. It makes it very easy to kind of move around. But that kind of needs to change now. I need to be able to look up. I need to be able to look down. I have to be able to place things a little bit more freely. And I think that might actually, to some degree, kind of change the simplicity of it, but, you know, when I'm layering. But we'll see. We'll see how things kind of go. Overall, I'm liking where I'm going with it. Because it means that it can be fun, you know? Like I am enjoying the process like a lot more. Like doing this in a multiplayer environment just seems to be a lot more fun to me. Right, and that's why the so let's do the 2 by. Yeah, I think I do want to go in and actually like make these walls be like just the side. I wonder if I should just make the walls for the time being, like have a material that's we can see the back faces. No, because it'll make it dumb for looking around. No, we don't want back faces. Yeah, we'll get the doors in and it'll make more sense. Door 2x2. Need another good. Yeah, I was originally Red Tango going to use the grid map because it does have automatic generation of thumbnails, and you can pull that. But I don't know how well the grid map was going to work when I'm pulling down assets from an external resource. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I need to make an editor script as well to automate generating these things. So like a tool script on the space object. So when I like click the button, it'll automatically create a grid selector and an object synchronizer. I mean, it's not that it's a ton of work, but you know. Okay, so that GUID is set. And now I absolutely get the necessity of the auto spawn function, or the custom spawn function. Once you start having like you know, pretty crazy auto spawn list. So this will need to be refactored today as well to just use the database instead. So instead of having to add it here to the object spawner and then going into the resource database. Where the actual space objects are. We'll rebake all the assets. No, I don't know if I saved my level just then. Right, because the idea is that walls must be created on both sides. Because they're like 1.5 total. So you have a different set of prefabs on one side versus a different set of prefabs on the other, but the doors themselves exist to kind of do both, right? Yeah, then is that the floor selectors are missing with my ability to, right, like it's cool that I can easily select them, but they need to be a bit smaller, I think. And that's why I made them editable. Maybe like even 0.5, just to make them easy to select. Or if we do 2.5, we'll do 0.125. And then we'll just snap these over. So now we have our custom grid selector for the floor. Cool. Alright, let's commit all those changes. And then we'll have to fix the camera rotation so we can look up and down. Okay, and it's on master, and what I want to do is just want to check. I want to make sure that our LFS yeah, that's weird. Because these are here. Binary file, that's not a thermal file, it's a bean. This should be in LFS. Let's check. Oh, maybe you get it. Hang on a second. Did I not? Cat dot get. So I do have GLB, GLTF, blend files. I don't know, is it actually set up? Maybe not. So I'm still not seeing my files. One second. Not showing my get LFS files, but it's initialized, but not pushing to origin. Verify the environment to confirm that it's set up. Okay, so that's fine. Right, so this. Yep. Oh, hang on, we haven't done an LFS push to master. Oh, why do I have two branches? What am I in? Yeah, no locks. I'm working at a main, not master. I need to delete master. Yeah, what am I using for Unforgiven space? Master or main? Just master. Yeah, this is old. Yeah, if everything's in main now. You can probably get rid of this branch. And then rename. Sync on main, origin main. Okay, so why is LFS not pushing the main? It must not be tracking. It's so weird. Right? Because we're listing files, the .get attributes. We're configure get LFS. This should be fine. Wave og gl bays. Oh, you got your dice? They're pretty.
That's Labradorite. So the one, like, look, if you look at the 1 and 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's not that. Alright, get LFS track. Check track. Check the track files to ensure run get track file pattern. I mean, yeah, check for initialize to be true. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't know. We'll just make it track in the GLBs. Tracking in .glb. Yeah. So I mean that's working. Confirm they're managed. Okay. No, this doesn't show that. Right? Get track and verify that they're GLB. GLB is already supported. Blend. Blend is already supported. So why isn't it pushing? Ensure that we have remote support for the branch. Right, we're doing a push origin on main. All no errors. Nothing. Make sure that they're staged. Changes not staged for commit. Modified. Oh, hang on. Maybe, yeah. Maybe we do need to. Okay. So fixed GLB files for LFS. Okay. Uploading. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do. Why wasn't that working? That's so weird. I wonder if it's the. I wonder if it's the dot. Maybe I have to put them in as asterisks. I don't know, but I literally did this on my own blog. Okay. All right, good. All right, so now LFS is working. All right, so I think I'm gonna switch over screens real quick here. We might go for lunch, I think. If there's a bottle, I'll get one for you. And there is. Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go find some of the raid. It'll be 2 p.m. my time. I'm gonna grab some food and take a break for like half an hour, and then we'll come back later. We want to finish the asset streaming, so this system here, where we pull down our assets, these pack files, and then add them to our inspector. And we want to fix the camera. So those are the things. So fix camera. To be able to look up and down. Cool. Let's do sorcery story. And we'll be back later on.